They say that clothes make the man, but I have learned tonight that clothes are simply the armor we wear to force the world to look us in the eye. My name is Arthur. For 40 years, I have been a monument to industry. I built the monolithic glass tower looming 50 stories above me with nothing but grit, steel, and a lifetime of missed birthdays. I am the founder of Sterling & Vance, the city's premier architectural firm. To the public, to the shareholders, and to the society pages, I am a titan. I am a man who wears three-piece suits cut from Italian wool, smokes imported cigars that cost more than a week's groceries, and commands the respect of a room simply by entering it. But tonight, I am not Arthur Sterling. He is charming, educated at the finest schools money could buy, and polished to a high sheen. He says all the right things in board meetings. He is the golden boy. But lately, I have seen a shadow. It is a flicker of cruelty in his eyes when he speaks to the waitstaff at the club. It is a coldness in his voice when he talks about clearing out the dead wood in the company, employees who have been with me since the beginning. It is a subtle arrogance that suggests he believes he deserves the throne, not because he earned it, but because he was born to it. I needed to know.
I needed to know who he was when the cameras were off, when the board wasn't watching, when there was nothing to gain. I needed to know if the man inheriting my legacy had a soul, or just a calculator where his heart should be. The cold seeps through the thin layers of my disguise, settling into my arthritic joints with a deep, aching throb. It is 6 p.m. The workday is ending. The executives are filing out of the revolving doors, the stream of ambition and expensive cologne. They step around me. They don't look at me. They don't see a human being. They see an obstacle. They see a puddle of sewage to be avoided so they don't scuff their shoes. I see men I have employed for decades, men I have invited to my home, men whose children's tuition I have paid, avert their eyes and quicken their pace. It is a lesson in invisibility. I feel small. I feel the crushing weight of what it means to be forgotten by the very world you helped build. I sat there, shivering, realizing that to these people, my worth was tied entirely to my bank account. If I stripped away the suit, I was nothing. If you have ever felt like the world only values you for what you can give them, hit that subscribe button, because what my son did next proved that some people don't just ignore the poor, they punish them for existing. And then he appears. Lucas exits the revolving doors. He is laughing, flanked by 2 junior partners who hang on his every word. He looks magnificent. He is wearing a camel hair coat that I know cost $5,000. His hair is perfect. He radiates success, health, and power. He is holding a steaming cup of artisan coffee in one hand, gesturing with the other. My heart swells. It is a pathetic, desperate hope that rises in my throat. Just look at me, I pray silently. Just offer $1, a kind word. Show me I raised a good man. Show me that the heart I tried to nurture is still beating under that expensive wool. He walks toward me. His path will take him directly past my spot on the curb. I rattle the few coins in my paper cup. The sound is tinny, hollow. I rasp. I pitch my voice low, broken, hiding the timbre that has commanded boardrooms. Anything helps, son. Lucas stops. The laughter dies instantly. He looks down. He looks at the sign. He looks at the dirt on my face. He looks at the rags. His face twists. It isn't pity. It is an indifference. It is a sneer of pure, unadulterated disgust. He doesn't see a human being in need.
He sees a stain on his pristine evening. He sees a piece of trash that has dared to speak to him. "Get a job," he spits. The venom in his voice is shocking. "Please," I beg, reaching out a trembling hand, a hand that paid for his car, his condo, his education, his life. Just a little help. Lucas looks at his colleagues. He is performing for them now. He wants to show them his strength, his disdain for weakness. "This is what happens when you're lazy," he says loudly, making sure they hear. And then he moves his leg.
He draws back his foot, encased in an expensive Italian leather boot, and he kicks. He kicks the cup out of my hand. The paper cup flies into the street. The few coins I had gathered scatter into the gutter with a tragic clatter. But he doesn't stop there. The follow-through of the kick connects. Thud. His boot strikes my shin. A sharp, blinding pain shoots up my leg, white-hot and agonizing. I cry out, clutching my leg, curling into myself on the cold concrete. "Get off my sidewalk, trash," he hisses. He lifts the lid of his coffee cup. Steam rises into the cold air. He tips it. He pours the scalding liquid onto my lap. The heat sears through the thin fabric of the rags, burning my skin. I gasp, scrambling backward, trying to brush the hot liquid away. "Oops," Lucas says, deadpan. He turns back to his friends. They look uncomfortable, but they laugh because he is the boss. They laugh because they are afraid. I hear him say as they walk away toward the parking garage, "Filthy animal." I sit there, wet, bruised, and broken. The physical pain in my leg is throbbing, a deep bone bruise ache. The burn on my thigh stings, but it is nothing, absolutely nothing, compared to the hole he just tore in my chest. My son didn't just fail the test, he obliterated it. He didn't just ignore me, he assaulted me. He took pleasure in my suffering. I watch him get into his sports car. I watch him drive away, disappearing into the city lights, leaving his father bleeding on the pavement. A moment later, a black town car pulls up to the curb. It moves silently, like a hearse. The rear window rolls down. My personal attorney and oldest friend, Mr. Henderson, is sitting there. He has been parked across the street for an hour. He has been watching. He is holding a video camera. The red recording light is still blinking. His face is pale with shock. He looks at me, then at the spot where Lucas stood.
"Get in, Arthur," he whispers, his voice shaking with a mixture of rage and grief. I struggle to my feet. My leg gives way for a second, but I catch myself. I limp to the car. I leave the cardboard sign on the ground. I leave the cup in the gutter. The Arthur who sat down on that curb is gone. He died the moment his son's boot connected with his shin. The man who gets into the car is no longer a father. He is a judge. And court is in session tomorrow. The morning sun hitting the glass facade of the Sterling Advance Tower is usually a sight that fills me with pride, a visual confirmation of 40 years of dominance. Today, however, it looks like the glare of an interrogation lamp. I am standing in the executive washroom on the 50th floor, staring at my reflection in the mirror. I look like Arthur Sterling. I am wearing a charcoal bespoke suit that cost $4,000. My silver hair is combed back, sleek and professional. My tie is knotted with geometric precision. But beneath the layers of Italian wool and silk, I am damaged goods. I look down at my leg. I can't see the injury through the trousers, but I can feel it. A deep, rhythmic throb that radiates from my shin bone, pulsing in time with my heartbeat. It is an angry, hot reminder of the night before. I didn't wrap it. I didn't ice it. I want to feel it. I want the pain to be sharp and present, a constant fuel for what I have to do. I reach for the cane leaning against the marble vanity. It is a heavy piece of polished ebony with a silver handle, an affectation I usually avoid because I hate appearing weak. Today, it is not a crutch. It is a gavel. I walk out into the hallway. Mr. Henderson is waiting for me. He is clutching a tablet to his chest as if it contains nuclear codes. In a way, it does. He looks tired, his eyes rimmed with red. I know he didn't sleep. He spent the night drafting motions, filing emergency injunctions, and preparing the legal slaughter of my only son. "The board?" I ask. My voice is gravel, rougher than usual. "Yes," Henderson says softly. "The entire board, the senior partners, the key investors. Lucas ordered champagne." "Celebrating," I repeat. The word tastes like bile. "Arthur," Henderson starts, stepping closer. "You don't have to do this part.
I can handle the legalities. You can wait in your office. It's going to be. No, I say. He didn't execute this betrayal by proxy Henderson. He did it with his own boot. I adjust my cufflinks.
I straighten my spine, ignoring the flare of pain in my leg. We walk down the long, plush corridor. I can hear the noise before we even reach the double oak doors. Laughter, the clink of crystal, the hum of a room full of people who believe they are backing a winner. I reach the doors. I pause for a second. I think of Lucas as a boy, running through these halls, playing with building blocks on my office floor. I have to kill that memory. I have to strangle it right here in the hallway, or I won't be able to do what needs to be done. I push the doors open. The sound hits me first, a wave of joviality and congratulatory chatter. The boardroom is filled with flowers. Massive bouquets of white lilies and orchids line the sideboard, filling the air with a scent that is cloyingly sweet, almost funerary. Lucas is standing at the head of the table. My table, my seat. He looks vibrant. He is wearing a navy suit, his hair perfectly coiffed, a glass of champagne in one hand. He is leaning over the CFO, laughing at some joke, looking every inch the benevolent monarch ascending to the throne. He radiates the kind of confidence that only comes from deep, profound ignorance. The room quiets down as the heavy doors slam shut behind me. Heads turn. "Lucas!" shouts, his face lighting up with a smile that is so practiced it chills my blood. "You're late! We were about to start the toast without you. Everyone, give it up for the founder!" The room erupts in applause. It is polite, respectful applause, but it feels hollow to me. I see their eyes. They are looking at the cane. They are looking at the slight limp. They are already writing my obituary in their heads, moving on to the new, younger model. I don't smile. I don't wave. I walk into the room. Tap, step, tap, step. The sound of the cane on the hardwood floor cuts through the applause, silencing it. I walk slowly, deliberately accentuating the limp. I want them to see it. I want them to wonder. I reach the head of the table. Lucas steps back, expecting me to take the guest chair to his right, the emeritus seat. I don't. I stand right next to him. I stand so close I can smell the expensive coffee on his breath, the same coffee he poured on a homeless man 12 hours ago. "You're limping," Lucas notes, his voice dropping to a register of concerned son. He reaches out to touch my arm. I flinch away from his touch as if he were burning hot iron. "Did you take a fall?" "I didn't fall at the club," I say. My voice is steady, cold, and loud enough to reach the back of the room. The room goes deadly silent. The CFO asks, frowning. "A very nasty encounter with a thug," I say, keeping my eyes locked on Lucas. Aggressive, violent. Lucas shakes his head, sighing theatrically for the benefit of the board. "The city is going to the dogs. I've been saying it for months. That's why I want to increase security patrols around the building perimeter." "The riffraff," I repeat. "Exactly," Lucas says, regaining his composure. "But let's not dwell on the negative. Today is a celebration." He gestures to the stack of leather-bound folders on the table, the keys to the kingdom. All they need is my signature. I look at the papers. Then I look at the board members. I see old friends, men I have made rich, women I have mentored. Lucas laughs nervously. "Dad, come on. We can do the sentimental speeches at the gala tonight." "It's not a speech," I say. I turn to Henderson. Henderson nods. He plugs the HDMI cable into his device. The massive 85-inch screen on the far wall flickers to life. "A retrospective?" Lucas asks, a flicker of irritation crossing his face. "A retrospective?" "Just watch," I say. The video begins. It is high definition, shot from the darkened interior of Henderson's car. The angle is perfect. It shows the sidewalk right outside this building. The streetlights cast long, harsh shadows. The room sees a figure sitting on the concrete, a homeless man, dirty, huddled in a coat that looks like it was pulled from a garbage can. Someone whispers. Then Lucas enters the frame. He looks magnificent on screen, his camel hair coat glowing under the streetlights. He is laughing. The board members lean forward. They recognize him. They smile, expecting a moment of charity, perhaps a video of Lucas helping the less fortunate to bolster the company's image. Then the audio kicks in.
Get a job, Lucas's voice hisses from the speakers. The smiles in the room falter. On screen, the homeless man reaches out a trembling hand, and then Lucas kicks him. The sound is amplified by the boardroom's expensive sound system. Thud. It is a wet, heavy sound of leather striking bone. The room gasps, a collective intake of breath that sucks the oxygen out of the air. On screen, the old man cries out. Lucas pours the coffee. The steam rises. Get off my sidewalk, trash, the digital Lucas snarls. The screen goes black. For 10 seconds, nobody breathes. The silence is absolute.
It is the silence of a tomb. Lucas is frozen. His face is drained of all color, leaving him a sickly, waxen gray. His mouth is slightly open. He is staring at the blank screen, his mind trying to process how a private moment of cruelty has become a public execution. He turns to me. His eyes are wild. He demands, his voice shrill, cracking with panic. This is a deep fake, or it's out of context. He was aggressive. He looks around the room, pleading with the horrified faces of the board. You didn't see the part before. He grabbed my leg. He was going to attack me. He asked for help, I say quietly. He was filth, Lucas shouts, pointing at the screen. He was filth. Why are we watching this? I did, I say. I reach into the deep pocket of my suit jacket. I pull out a woolen cap. It is gray, stained with grease, and smells pungent, a mix of vinegar, dirt, and stale sweat. The smell wafts across the polished table, invading the sterile scent of the lilies. I toss the cap onto the mahogany table. It slides across the smooth wood and comes to rest right next to Lucas's hand. Lucas stares at the hat. He looks at me. He looks back at the hat. He stumbles back, knocking his heavy leather chair over. It crashes to the floor with a deafening bang. No, he breathes. No, that's impossible. You were at the club. I was testing you, I say. I wanted to know who you were when the cameras were off. I wanted to know who you were when you thought no one mattered. I look at the board. They are staring at me with a mixture of shock and dawning horror. He didn't just kick a stranger, I say to them. I reach down. I pull up the pant leg for my charcoal trousers. I roll down my sock. The bruise is angry. It is a deep, mottling purple and black, swelling aggressively against the bone. The skin around it is red and blistered from the coffee burn. You did this, I say to Lucas. The CFO stands up. He looks like he is going to be sick. My God, he whispers. Lucas. Lucas screams. He is cornered now, a rat trapped in a spotlight. This is entrapment. You set me up. I didn't make you kick a helpless man, I say, my voice rising, filling the room with the authority I built this company on. I didn't make you pour scalding coffee on a human being. I offered you a chance to show mercy. I offered you a chance to be a man. Lucas looks at the board members. He sees no allies. He sees only disgust. Dad, please, he starts, changing tactics, his voice trembling. It was a mistake. I was stressed. I didn't know it was you. If you had known it was me, you would have helped, I finish for him. But because you thought it was a man with nothing, you treated him like nothing. That is the point, Lucas. I turn to Henderson. Henderson steps forward. He places a single sheet of paper on the table. Pursuant to the morality clause in the partnership agreement, Henderson reads, his voice dry and legal, and in light of the documented assault on the company's founder, he looks at Lucas. Furthermore, the irrevocable family trust has a clause regarding criminal misconduct. By assaulting your father, you have triggered the disinheritance protocol. You are removed from the trust. Lucas lunges toward the table, his face twisted into a mask of pure, ugly entitlement. I built the Asian portfolio. Two large men in dark suits step out from the corners of the room. Security. I had Henderson stage them there before we arrived. They intercept Lucas before he can reach me. They grab his arms. You big, he shrieks. You are nobody, I say. I look him in the eye. I feel a profound, crushing sadness. I am mourning the death of the son I thought I had, but I do not waver. And I haven't just cut you off, I say softly. Lucas freezes in the grip of the guards.
Assault and battery on a senior citizen, I say. It's a felony in this state. Henderson gave the video to the police an hour ago. Lucas screams, "Dad, don't! You can't send me to jail." My son would never kick a man who was down, I say. I wave my hand. The guards drag him toward the doors. He fights them, kicking and screaming, his dignity stripping away with every inch. He begs, he threatens, he cries. "Dad!" he screams as they haul him into the corridor. Then the doors close. The screaming is muffled, then gone. The room is silent. The flowers smell too sweet. The champagne sits unopened. I look at the empty chair at the head of the table, the chair Lucas was so eager to fill. I feel tired. My leg is throbbing with a pulse of fire. I feel old. The board members are standing, looking at me with a new kind of respect. Fear, perhaps, but respect. "Mr. Sterling," the CFO says quietly. I say nothing, I say. I walk to the head of the table. I lean my cane against the edge. I sit down in my chair. It feels familiar. It feels right. The transition is canceled.
I look at the woolen hat sitting on the table. It is ugly. It is dirty. But it saved my company. "Meeting adjourned," I say. The board members file out, silent and shaken. They nod to me as they leave. They will tell this story for years. When the room is empty, I am left alone with Henderson. "Hey?" he asks gently. "No," I say. I reach for the pitcher of water on the table. I pour a glass. My hand shakes slightly, but I steady it. I take a sip. It tastes clean. It tastes like the truth. "But I saved the future," I whisper. I sit there in the silence of the tower I built, watching the dust motes dance in the sunlight. An old man with a bruised leg and a broken heart, back in charge of his world.